Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Valerie. If you're new, thank you for stopping by. If you're not new, thank you for clicking to watch another video. On my channel, I inspire you to live your life and to live it freely. And if you're wondering about the beat face, I had a photo shoot, like a birthday photo shoot, so that's why my face is beat. But yeah, hope you enjoy the video and let's get into it. So in today's video, I'll be explaining to you why it seems like you always go from self-hate to self-love and then back to self-hate. Your self-love journey is like, a never-ending spiral. Like, you're continuously going back between self-love and self-hate. I'm going to tell you why. The reason why this is happening is because people make it seem like the journey from self-hate to self-love is a linear journey. It's not. There are two pit stops that you have to make before you get to self-love. One of them, which we're going to talk about today, is self-awareness, and the second one is self-acceptance. Without these two, you're going to keep going in circles because these two are missing. They are vital points in your self-love journey. What does it mean to be aware of yourself? Well, to be aware means to have a knowledge and a consciousness. So to be self-aware is to have a knowledge and a consciousness of who you are. And this usually lies in your identity. How do you identify? And in this day and age, people identify by career, identify by race, identify by gender, identify by achievements. People identify by achievements a lot. But the problem with identifying all those things is that those things can change. I know you're thinking, well, race and gender doesn't really change. Just hold on, I'll come to that. But if you're placing your identity in something like your career or just a phase you are in life, like a student or something like that, the problem is that that thing can change. And what happens when it changes? Do you cease to exist? Do you cease to lose who you are because the thing you identified with is no longer there? So if I identify as a student, what happens when I'm done going to school? Is Valerie now gone? No. So my identity cannot be in being a student. A student is what I do. A doctor is what I do. I'm not a doctor, I'm just saying. A doctor is what I do. A teacher is what I do. That's what I do, but that's not where my identity lies, because a matter of events can happen and those things can be taken away from me. And when things are taken away from you, when you are stripped of everything that you think you are and you're left alone, how do you identify? That's being aware. You need to know what that identity is. And if you're a Christian, then you're in luck, because as Christians we identify as children of God. That's it. That's your whole identity, because God doesn't die, God doesn't change. He was here before the world started, he's going to be here after. Your identity must be set on things that are immovable and that cannot be changed. Immovable and they cannot change under any circumstance. Now you might be thinking, well, my race doesn't change, my gender doesn't change. Here's the thing. Those are things. Like, what do I mean? If you focus so much on your identity being in the fact that you're black, or the identity being the fact that you're a woman, the problem is that those become idols to you. Those become false gods, and they produce terrible fruits like hate, racism, sexism, all the isms. I'm not a fan of any ism except one, but all the isms. It produces bad fruit, it produces bad behavior, bad thoughts. You become indoctrinated to a certain lifestyle, and that's not who you are. That's just an indoctrination that you have to unlearn, if you understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying you're not black, or you're not white, or you're not a woman, or you're not a man. I'm just saying that that's not where your identity lies. Okay? The second thing when it comes to self-awareness is knowing your triggers and your likes and your dislikes. If you're a Christian, you know the popular Bible verse, Psalm 139 verse 14. I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. But people often disregard verse 13, where it tells us that God created our whole being, everything about you. So he created your likes, your dislikes, your temperaments, everything, your personality, everything he created, and he said it is good. So you need to find out, ask yourself, okay, so what do I like? What do I dislike? And what do I hate? What do I genuinely hate? For me, I like easy life. I like my life to be easy. I don't like to figure things out, especially when someone's already figuring them out, or when someone's done them. Like, imagine like I want to make pizza. I would rather type on Google who has a pizza recipe than, you know, crack my brain on what to do. You know what I mean? Like, I like to, if the help is out there, I'm gonna go get the help if I want to. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to suffer. No, every suffering was laid on the cross, so I'm not going to suffer for, because there's no badge for suffering. There's no badge of honor for suffering. Like, I'm talking about unnecessary suffering. So that's one thing about me. I like to live an easy life. If you follow me on Instagram, you will see my bio. It says it right there: kingdom living, dollar spending, easy living. That's on periods. Because I don't like stress in my life. So that's one thing about me. That's one thing I know about myself. I do not like stress. Another thing is what triggers you. I know certain people trigger me. I know certain things trigger me. I know I can't say certain things to certain people because their response is going to be triggering. So you need to find that out about yourself, and you need to write these down. I have mine. I don't have it here, but I have mine written down in a little journal. People that trigger me, what they say that triggers me, and I've been very intentional not to speak to those people about certain things because I just know myself. I know that when I speak to them about certain things, I'm not going to get what I need to get, and then that's going to make me very upset. So, and I don't like myself when I'm upset, and you wouldn't either. But yeah, so find out what triggers you, what makes you upset. Also, do the whole opposite spectrum. What makes you happy? What makes you super, super, super happy? Like, what gets you to a point where, like, you're, what's that word? Elated? You're just joyous. And be honest with yourself, because some people were like, oh, when I'm preaching, I'm not happy. It's okay. Calm down, liar. I'm not saying you're lying, but some people want to be over, you know, just do the most, when that's not the truth. You know, I find out that I'm very happy when I'm shopping. I'm very happy when I'm shopping, when I'm swiping the card. A little bit of trouble, but I found out that that really makes me happy. I found that I'm happy when I'm traveling. I found that I'm happy when I'm doing YouTube and, you know, taking pictures and things like that. Those things make me happy. And, you know, even when I'm also on the spiritual part, doing rites, meditating, spending time with God, things like that, those things make me happy. So find out on both sides what makes me really happy and what makes me really angry, what triggers me. Another thing you need to find out is your behavioral pattern, or just things about you that are they're just part of who you are. One of them for me is that I am quite competitive. If I feel like I know something and I'm in a competition, let's say assuming it's a spelling bee competition, and when I'm good at something, I usually end up as, you know, top 3, top 2. So imagine I'm in a competition, I'm top 2. If I don't win, I start crying. It's just, you know, the competitive part of me coming out like, I should have won. I should have won. You cheated. You cheated. But I can get very when I don't win competitions that I know that I should win, you know, that could manifest as, you know, being insecure towards yourself, or it could also just be like, you know, you place a lot of emphasis on intellect, and that's fine, you know, to place some emphasis on intellect, but you know, it shouldn't drive you to the point that if you don't win a competition you start crying. Why are you crying? Why are you crying? But those are things I know about myself. I'm very aware of myself, so if it's a bad situation, I try not to put myself in that situation, or I just try to live life. You know, it's about living life. Live life. And my last point will be about self-awareness. Like, what are your boundaries? Do you have boundaries? I realize that I have no boundaries. Absolutely none. Zero. People were walking all over me like trash. Well, that's over. I have boundaries now. It's harder to implement boundaries on family, just because you can fill in the blanks. It's family. But I'm, you know, I'm learning, I'm being firm. You know what? This is what I want to do. This is who I am, and this is my opinion. This is my decision. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. This is what you can say. This is what you can't say, and this is where you have to mind your business. Big purr. But I think setting boundaries is very important. Make sure you set boundaries with your family, your friends, co-workers, and everyone needs to read the book called Boundaries. I personally haven't finished it, but I've gone halfway. Yeah, I've gone halfway. So I highly recommend this book, especially if you're a Christian, because it was written by Christians, and it even has Bible verses to back things up. So that's how good the book is. Highly recommend you to set boundaries, and people are not going to love them, but they're going to respect them because you're going to implement them. And you must also respect other people's boundaries as well. It may hurt, it may sting, but you have to respect everyone's boundaries. So that's it, guys. That is pit stop number 1 in the game of self-love. Next week we're going to talk about part 2, which is self-acceptance, before we talk about part 3, which is actually self-love. Now, I mean, so thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was useful, and I will see you guys in my next video. Be sure to subscribe, follow me on my social media, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.